All right, welcome everyone. It's Rob. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Let's go ahead and make sure you all can hear me. If you please type the number 1 in the chat box, let me know that you can. I would greatly appreciate it. All right. Nothing like Zoom giving me a hard time as I'm trying to log in here today. Yeah, guys, Robert, if you're getting Facebook requests from me, it's not me. I put a post up on my Facebook page. I don't know. My friends are private, so I don't know how people are finding my friends. They even messaged my wife. I mean, if you took the time to look at my profile, you would see that my wife is my wife. And they messaged her saying hi. They messaged my daughter for a friend request. I've gotten more phone calls and emails, texts about this than a little bit. So do not accept it. I just now, again, went on Facebook and reported it because they said the last time I did that they weren't violating any terms of service. It's me. You're impersonating me, so you are violating terms and all of my content up there. So it ain't me. And it's not a hack. It's not a hack either, because I went through and checked. There's been no activity on other systems. I get alerts if unused or abnormal systems are using my profile. Blah 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 blah. So but yeah, my password has been changed. Actually, I wanted to make mention of that. I meant to tell my team this earlier today. So here's the thing that you all need to consider. If you're using passwords that are numbers only, and it's 10 digits, it will take them, if it's 11 digits, it'll take them 2 seconds to hack your password if it's 11 digits. If it is 11 letters, it'll take them a day. If it is all lowercase. If it's upper and lower, it'll take them 5 years. If it is blah, 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 blah. So here's what I've done. In the truest fashion of Fibonacci, I've switched all my passwords to Fibonacci numbers. Some are very long, much longer than 13. But if you go to 13 characters on the password, let's see. If you go to 13 characters, it takes 2 million years. If you use upper, lower numbers and symbols, it takes 2 million years for them to crack your password. If you go to 15, it takes 15 billion. I moved my graphic I had open. I think it was 15 billion years. Let's see. If you go to 15 characters, it takes 15 billion years to hack. So, yeah, see, I don't let Google generate anything, Stephanie. I just don't trust Google. They generated it. They go, oh, store that now. I am not a big fan of Google knowing anything. Right? So it's why I refuse to use Google Sheets or anything like that. I'll pay for other products, but Google, I just don't trust them. Anyway, do not accept another friend request from me. And the funny thing was, I just got one from Dale Zamzo, reported his profile for him as well, because when I called him on it, he goes, Rob, you and I are already friends. I said, I know, but I'm just telling you, I just got this from you. So, I guess, and I'm looking, there's 8 people that are friends there. So Debbie, if you were here, that was not me. John, Rick, Scott, Robert, everybody else is not here today. So y'all that are here, Mike, I think you reported it to me, right? You sent me a message. I got so many. I was bombarded with messages about it. So no, not you, Robert K. Robert S. Robert S. All Wealth Builders students. And listen, I understand. Oh, Rob's asking for a friend request. Of course I'm going to be his friend, you know. So anyway, just change your passwords, folks, period. Just start getting them to longer passwords. You know, the more digits you can get in there, the better you are. So, all right, let's jump in. Keep in mind, everything we look at is for education. Nothing's meant to be advice or recommendations. If you find something you like, anything, make sure it fits your own personal risk profile and risk tolerance before ever taking on that trade, that setup, or adding that indicator. Thank you, Sarah. I appreciate that. Lee. Yeah, I figured as soon as I got a message, there you go, Scott. So make sure you, and Scott, if you're already a friend there, make sure you go and report it, that it's a copied profile or dupe profile or whatever you want to say. Stolen profile, because they got my messages, my everything up there. All right, so what do we got coming up here? May 28th, that is today. We've got Mastermind Group Trading You coming up on the 30th, covered call. Trip has another one coming up this Friday, the 31st. Oh, I can't believe Friday is already the 31st. Inner Circle is coming up on June 3rd, and then Monster Market Movers also on June 3rd. Power option plays, cover call. Well, okay, power option plays. We had a holiday this week, so that kind of messes everything up. So I will look to do the other power option plays. I did one yesterday. I'll look to do one on Wednesday. Kind of split the week up a little bit. E-mini is back to regular schedule, as is Power Hour and Trading Coaches Playbook. Am I not sharing? Thank you, Helen. All right, that's a more better. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. You know, no kidding, Brendan. It's really sad that these social media owners don't and won't do anything to protect the truth. No kidding. Yeah, so Robert, I found a thing on a graphic that showed what it takes to hack. It says times for a hacker to crack your password. So, and listen, this came on the internet, so it has to be true, right? But this is from a hacker guy, you know, anti-hacker guy, that I follow on one of my social platforms. So, if I can, I'll try to send this over to Sean and we can make it available if someone wants to see it. But yeah, so they obviously the best, Robert, for everybody, the best is upper and lower case numbers and special characters, question mark, exclamation points, whatever you want to do, right? Yeah, and don't make it your birthday or anything like that. You know, I've had these conversations with family members before, especially the ones that get a little bit older. It's like, no, but I can't remember the other ones. I don't care. Get a password remembering software program that you do instead then. All right. You're welcome, Robert. So here's our follow us page. Make sure you are following along, keeping up with the latest and greatest of what's going on out there. There's a lot happening. I mean, our Trader's Mental Edge is kicking tail right now. And I'm really stoked about that page. If you've gotten to see it, we're seeing some great, let's see, lets me click on it. We're seeing some, I don't know, it's gonna let me in from here. I've never logged in. There we go. I mean, 14,000 followers, 18,000 likes. And yeah, I'm not logged in on this computer. So it's like, you don't have anything there. But there's a lot of activity going on here, guys. We only put this TikTok out there a couple of months ago, and it's all on Trader's Mentality. So go ahead and follow along on the various platforms when you get a chance. All right. And here's Trading Boss Manifesto. Yep. Lee just dropped that in. Appreciate that, Lee. And then Trading You, guys. So we've done some trainings over the last couple of weeks. This will be the last offer we make this way on Trading You. Prices do go up after this. There is a new structure that we're going to add to Trading You. I'm out of town for a couple of days this week. My goal is when I get back, sometime beginning of June, for it to be fully laid out, and I'll release that to everybody inside of Trading You. There's going to be similarities too, but we're going to have a little more structure to what we do, candidates selection each week or each time, and so forth. So we're going to open that up pretty soon. This is the last opportunity to register to roll to get in Trading You at these discounted rates. After that, it's gone. My team is pushing very hard. They no longer want a lifetime access to it. So we're going to see what that entails. I know we've had a lot of interest and a lot of activity in the lifetime when we did the onlines for it. But make sure you check that out, guys. This is going to go away soon. Nope. Same thing, Jennifer. Trading You is Trading You. If you have it, you've got it. So you're good to go. All right. So what trades? I don't want to show that yet. What trades did y'all do? Drop them in. I want to see them. What trades did you do? Remember, this is all about what? Accountability. I don't care if it's funded or non-funded. I'm not asking you. We're assuming everything is non-funded. We don't talk anything about funded trades here, right? Not because we don't want to. because we're not allowed to. The FTC, the SEC make it abundantly clear of you're not allowed to do that because you're not licensed. Okay. Oh, is that what's in there, Trip? Nope. Oh, I see it. I see it. I see it. Okay, good. I'm not gonna mention that yet. So Trip said got a couple of small scalps on IWM and Roku, and one that I'll share with you guys in just a moment. Scott said just closed out of Micron for a 59% crush in premium. Nice. 12% rate of return. Jennifer said some of my trades are sucking. It happens, right? I put in 3 calls and held over the weekend, still down, down, down. Well, so remember, Jennifer, when you know, and I don't know what expiration you chose, but we had a 3-day weekend. So we had 3 days of theta burn, just, you know, time value going away for 3 straight days, almost 4 days. Because you got Friday at 4 p.m. until Saturday at 4 p.m., till Sunday at 4 p.m., till Monday at 4 p.m., and then 3/4 more of a day, approximately. So 3 3/4 days of time value go away from the hold over the weekend. So, and then if it's just a little bit of a move, it hurts hard. Let's see. Short put on AMD for a 61% profit in 1 hour. I looked at that trade on AMD this morning, Stephanie, and I did not take it. SPX vertical spread, 48% profit in hours. Very nice. Yeah, love the theta burn. Sure do, Trip. All right, so she's long June 21, Jennifer. All right, so you've got a little bit of time on it, but if it hits your target, you're out, right? Stephanie said SPX vertical with 48% profit in 2 hours. Nice. Deborah said ARM is going real well. Jeff said did a bull put spread on NVIDIA 1 day, 93%. Woo! Nice. Very nice. Let's see. We got Roman in here today. We do not. Okay. So let's go through and let me share a little bit of the setups here. All right. So this one came from TradeWatch Alerts, Goldman Sachs. What do we do here today? This is just a directional trade. Amelia did 5 contracts. May 28, a buy at 9:34 this morning, 5 contracts of the 462 half calls, and she bought them at 795. Right, so she got in on this candle. She got out in 15 minutes at 885. So she got 11.3% rate of return. Yeah, I was 11% rate of return. Yeah, 11%. We'll call 11.25% in 15 minutes. Really nice job. Yes, Jennifer, thank you for that. Jennifer said great job, everybody. And yes, absolutely. I should have said that. Everybody, fantastic job. A lot of really good trades there. Love seeing them. Appreciate you putting them in. The education's paying off is awesome, right? So this is a trip from trade today, trade from trip today, kind of backwards. Entered 4 contracts at $1.27, right? And this is the Hakanashi scalp type thing that we talk about. Entered 4 contracts at $1.27, exited 1 contract at 201. Exited 2 contracts at $1.98. So overall, 57% rate of return, guys. Really super, super nice setup on there, folks. I mean, wow, what a great, great trade there. So I had a couple that I was looking at today. I was looking at AMD, Google, Goldman Sachs, and NVIDIA. And of course, SPY and Qs. So NVIDIA has been in the move lately, guys, in the news, right? I mean, it just rocked. Today they gapped up and they opened up today at 1102.44. I've got support at 1100. I have 1099.30. right down below there. So we opened up today at 1102.44. We got a low of 1098.83. So we opened up higher than our 1100 line. We pulled back just a little bit and we bounced, right? I love the bounce. I love the structure of what happened there. If we go and look at a 5-minute candle of NVIDIA, you can see that first candle was just amazing. Good pull back and go. If we go look at a 1-minute candle on NVIDIA, button. Okay, there we go. So what happened? We gapped up on NVIDIA. Right here was our open. Okay, we pulled back to our low, and remember, this is a 1 minute candle now that I'm looking at on Omega charts. 1 minute candle. And then we opened the next candle right here. So we had already stretched up, and if this line is 10.99.30, we had ran up to a high of 11.04. So we're $4.50, almost $5 up on that position, right? So overall, on that move rather for the day, and then it from where it opened, and then it pulled back, and then we closed and gapped up a little bit. Now if we closed on this candle at 10.99.67, so 10.99.5, we'll call it. We opened at 10.99.97, so about 40-50 cents higher. We pulled back to 10.99.50, so we actually got back down just above that line, 20 cents above, and we bounced, right? And that was the catalyst. That was the entry. That was the beginning of just an amazing move, guys. And the $1,100 call were trading at 21 bucks at the time. I don't know what I have open here. Let's see. If we go over to TradeStation, let's go to NVIDIA. And let's look. So the 1100s right now are trading at 36. They were 21. That's a $15 move if you're still in that position. All right. Overall, phenomenal. Yeah. So Jennifer said NVIDIA stock split June 9th, effective June 10th. Doesn't change overall price, but keep hearing people like that and trades up. Also, excellent earnings again and again. Yeah, they're killing it because of what they're doing with AI. I mean, with their chipset and their AI and so forth. Pretty soon they're going to have to pull the chipsets by putting them on the moon. The computers, they're going to need so much cold to keep them from burning up, of how fast they're moving and so forth. And I'm excited to see what X, what Twitter, right, what they come out with now with their XAI, right? Musk has raised $6 billion in that venture. $6 billion. Right. So just excited for it. Really, really, really so. Yeah. Trips trade tripped me up today. Yeah. Tongue tied, the tongue twister. Exactly. So great move on NVIDIA today. And then on the Qs, right, we had the gap up. I did not do the gap fill. Should have. I did not take the gap fill. We closed right down at support at our pivot, and we got a nice bounce. So that was an entry in at about $1.50 at the four. Again, everything is not for non-funded, right? So right on this candle here, the 9:55 close candle, we entered the trade. The option was about $1.50, and we were out. We didn't hit our resistance level to right up in here, so we were at about 220. It's either 215 or 220. So call it 220. Easier math. It's 70 cents. One contract drew up $70. 10 contracts drew up $700. And if you hadn't gone to work yet, you can call in sick. All right, with $700 for the day. Overall, really, really, really nice move. So we've been fortunate, right? If we look from a market standpoint, look from a markets standpoint. Okay, it's like, what the heck just happened? Okay. If we look from a market standpoint, let's go over to. I know what this is. Okay, that's why I'm not on a daily chart. I was on a minute chart. So we go to the S&P on a daily chart, right? We've had some fluctuations, some ups and downs going on, but overall, what is happening, guys? We are, pushing up. I remember on my the days when I was before being married, my wife and I were dating. We'd go out dancing and with friends and all that stuff. And there was a song called "The Roof Is on Fire," right? And people would be standing on the table and pushing up at the ceiling like this, like there was a roof up on top of them, right? But that's exactly what this is. On fire is an understatement. We have just exploded on the S&P 500. What a great move. Good pullback. You may notice some additional lines in there. I went through this on Pop over the weekend. I did an update. Being that Monday the market was closed, I still had to do an update. So I did the update Monday for today. And I spent probably 15 minutes of it talking about the setup I'm going to lay out for you today on top of the S&P 500. And this was part of a conversation from the previous week with Inner Circle, as most things become the talking points of why we did it and so forth. Those that are in Inner Circle, if you weren't in that training, I know everybody wasn't there, go back and watch it, the in-depth of how we drew it and the forward-looking fibs, which will release in October when we finally get to our fibs training that we'll be doing. We'll be looking at what's called forward-looking fibs as well, which is something fairly new. But what I want to do here is I'm going to take this off of moving averages. And I just want to get back to a point as big as I can on the screen with the entire fib there. Perfect. Okay, so we've got our V bottom in here, good move up, quick little hiccups along the way. And same thing, this was a massive amount of time, hours, a couple hours in our full day Inner Circle training, just talking about S&P, why here, why not there. I did not draw off of the highest high at that point, which was there, and that pullback was a reason enough. I didn't have to. Okay, so we've got that as our fib. So you'll notice that now there's an A at the start of the fib, and there is a B at the end of the fib. And then if you go and you follow the pullback, however steep it goes, that lowest low, that wick, is your C point, right? And what this basically has done is it has extrapolated out additional lines. I'm going to zoom it ups and downs until we can see all of it, right? That might be too much. Yeah, it's probably too much. Okay, so that's as close as I can get it. So what I did, oh, actually, I can't do that. That's not no good. I just need the whole fib to stay on there. Okay. So what I did is I grabbed over here this Fibonacci extension tool. If let me do it there. If I click on the tool to activate it and open up the settings, are you going to open the settings? Okay. So forget about the NAs. They don't matter. Those are the A, B, and the C, right? I've got a 236, a 618, and a 1. That's it. It's the only 3 lines I use on this tool. You can use any lines you choose. Those are the ones that I do. So we start to draw this where the fib, let's see. I'm going to go ahead and delete this. Right? So we grab that Fibonacci tool and we come over here to where we started the fib and we click on that low wick. Once we're there, this will not allow us to go anywhere other than a high wick or a low wick. It's wicks is all you're allowed to do. If I wanted to draw it to here, I can't. It has to draw off the high. I need a low wick, the highest wick. I'm going to click on, that's my B, and then my lowest wick. I can't make it, no matter where I put my mouse, I can't make it go to another part of the candle. It only goes off of the wicks, the extremities. And when I click on that C, what we've done in essence is this. We've then gone and said, okay, we have to move from A to B. Whatever that dollar amount is, whatever it is, but it's 100% of the move. If it's $100, that's 100% of the move. Then we had to move from B to C, and that's R, right? That's the retracement. That's the pullback. And then from C, we're extrapolating out whatever the move was from A to B, we're extrapolating that same dollar amount out and looking for a 100% move. So we are, in essence, looking for a stair step. A move up, a pullback, and let's just do it this way so you can see it. It's more refined. And then this here, right? Where this line here, 1 and 2, are very similar in view, in length. Right? The easiest way to do this, if you grab the dollar difference tool, and we come, really doesn't matter how you draw. I'm not looking for the number of bars. I'll be close enough. It doesn't matter. Right? So we're about $546, give or take. I'm going to double click on it. It gives me a duplicate line. I'm going to bring it over to the bottom wick, over to the C. where we started there, and it draws the line up. Now, when I drew the ABC pattern, it automatically drew in for me 3 lines. It drew in the 236, it drew in the 618, and it drew in the 1. The 1, in essence, should have the letter D next to it, because we're looking for A to B. Looking at AB equals CD. That's in essence what we're hoping to find, okay? So as we make our move up, right? As we make our move up, we're looking for, can we get that 100%? Just writing a note down here, guys. Well, can we get that 100% move to the upside that we had already here? It doesn't matter how long it took or anything like that, okay? So 1 for yes, 2 for no if you're following along. So I want to make sure I'm not being too superficial with it, and I want to make sure that I'm not going too much, you know, in depth where it's like to nauseum. All right, stop already. All right, this should be a good refresher for you, Trip. Good, Jennifer. I'm glad you like it. As well as Scott, good refresher. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. All right, good. So we've got this A to B, then C to D. The 3 lines that are drawn here, you know, we had this V bottom in here and we bounce, but until we get above the 236, as far as this green line, as far as I'm concerned, nothing really matters. The ABC is not yet valid at that point. We don't have enough good information, and I'm going to get rid of those 2 green lines there. We don't yet have enough good information to say, ooh, this is what we should have. Nope, we don't. Until you can get a close above that 236, nothing matters. We closed on this candle. You know, it's almost like activate power cells. You know, go. We're good. We're good to rock now. Now, we did fail and fall back below there, and that's okay. But as we bounce, one of the things I am looking for at this point is I am looking for a confluence of any one of the 3 lines that got drawn in on the far right side. So I don't have it on 236. And realistically, I'm really not that concerned whether I do or not on 236. On the 618, I do not have a confluence. And on the 1, I really don't have a confluence. Okay, so now we've got to just look at is anything close to it. All right. Well, what I want you to notice is on this 618, this purple line right there. We pushed up at that point on this candle, new all-time high right there, new all-time high. And then we got a higher one the next day before we got a little bit of a pullback. And then we got a little bit of a move, push up, a big fail with a gap up and big fail and a bounce. But look at that 618. We didn't hit it exactly every single day. But if we're being honest here, how much did we hit it? Well, I mean, we blew right through it here, so that's a no, right? We came back here. Yep, I'll give that a check mark. We came right back to it. We came back to it. That's a no. Right? Not really. That's a yes. We blew right through it here, so I would guess no. Right? We played right around it here, not really here. Guys, we've been on this line over and over and over. And if you look at how many times we have touched that line, if you go that route instead, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days that we've touched that line. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I would call it. 6 days you've touched that line. So that 618 has been a very powerful level. The question still lends itself of, can we make it up to this 1 level right here, which is about 4,500, right? 44.99.84, right? And of course, you know, I'm not using 100-point levels there, but you're at 5,500 level right on top of that. Well, so all of this analysis, and this came out of, there was another piece to this, which I'm not going to go into now. That is what I will release in February, in October, in our Fibs training when we do it. I had a full, what I believe is going to be a full 2-day Fibonacci training. All of the trade setups, all the structures we do, overnight fibs, everything about Fibonacci will be inside of that training. There will be nothing that I do with fibs that will not be gone over there. Every major tool that I use, major setup that I use, if there are things I'm working on at that point, I'll be really revealing those as well. But this came out of a well, came out of the same analysis of, do Fibbits belong on a chart? Because I hear that from people all the time. Do they really belong there? They're not true fibs. You're making them up. You're right, I'm making them up. But here's a Fibbit right here. And lo and behold, we pushed up, we pulled back, we bounced. But how many times do you see it hit a Fibbit and fail? Right? And you held on for that bigger target up here and you never got out because it never got there. So Fibbits have proved to be an amazing tool when used properly. This ABC tool is going to be the same thing. I'm not saying we're making it up to the 5,500, but I want you to understand there's also a fib line right in there, right? And that fib line is, if it's a negative 382. It's a negative 382 there. And from the previous fib, we're right at the -1 as well. So we're literally sitting on top of each other there. But then I've got this brown line in here. Does anybody remember what that 5473 line is? We haven't really talked about it for a while. Does anybody remember that level, what it is? Yep, you got it, Trip. Most others are saying no. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of jump in on this, and I'm going to really scrunch this sucker down. Okay. So you will notice down here, there's a black line, 4181. We've been down there over and over and over and over and over again. Okay. That is a major Fibonacci level. If you take a Fibonacci number sequence and just start adding, the two numbers together, 1 + 1 is 2, 2 + 1 is 3, 2 + 3 is 5, 5 + 3 is 8, and so on and so on and so on. Keep going. 4181 is a fib level, right? So we snap that on our chart. And go back on the S&P 500 and look at that level. It's been amazing, the support there. Well, the next fib line above that is this 67. Ooh, the numbers are getting smaller. 6765, right? That's the next true fib level on the Fibonacci number series after 4181. Well, this brown line right in here is 5473. That is the midpoint between those two black lines. So the brown lines are midpoints. The two black lines are the actual, and notice they're thicker, right? So I can't really mistake them shouldn't really mistake them for support and resistance. It's too thick for me. The brown one is a midpoint where it splits that mid. So now that I explained what that is, if we scrunch this down again and we look, we've got that 5,500 level right there. We've got that 5473 and we've got that fib line just below that. So what have we done? In essence, we've created a bit of a zone right in here. I have a fib line, right? I've got what would be called a midpoint. And then I've got my ABC lines. All three of these aligning in, I wouldn't say perfection, but pretty damn close. They're all setting up in a similar area. What is that telling us? There's an opportunity right there for some resistance. Does that mean the stock's going to make it there? Nope, doesn't. Would I expect it to make it there? Yep, I see it happen over and over again where you get that continuation 100% move up from that lowest low on that V pullback, right? Right in there. From that pullback and that bounce, from that low, we're able to get that. So by drawing this on there, you're giving yourself a forward look at where we have an opportunity to move to. Never, ever, ever base this only on, that's my number, it's going to get there, and I'm basing my trade, I'm doing my trade on that. Careful. Okay? Careful. Be very cautious that is a definitive. But I will tell you this. The method I am laying out for you right now is exactly pre-split on Apple. When Apple was over $800, I missed it by like 40 or 70 cents. The exact high that Apple hit before it collapsed, right? Pre-earnings. Not earnings, sorry. Pre-split. Pre-split. We crushed it with that. We were just dead on. You couldn't have been much better than perfect as far as I was concerned. Are we going to do that today? I'm not saying that. What I'm telling you is you need all the tools in your belt possible to be competitive in this market. That is why when you follow along with the things that I lay out here, or that Brandon or Tony or Amelia or Trip or whomever are doing, and you follow along with that processes, you might be looking at this once a day for 10 or 15 minutes, this being the market. I'm in here all day long. Amelia, Brandon, Trip, just dozens and dozens of daily hours logged in from all of us on what's happening in the market. And for me, it's all about how do I build a better mousetrap. This is the mousetrap. That's what I'm trying to cure here, or solve here. Solve for X. What is X? The mousetrap. How do I build a better mousetrap? That's exactly what I'm trying to accomplish here. And it works. It works. I mean, if you've used fibs for any length of time, you will know that there's a lot of accuracy. Does anybody feel that, and you can just give me a 1 for yes, 2 for no, but does anybody ever feel that fibs are scary accurate? That it's almost concerning of how? I mean, why did it stop there? Right? Me too. Right? As often as I see it run to where it does, pull back, drop, stop, roll, whatever you want to call it, I'm very impressed with the numbers. So start looking at adding the ABCs to your list of what can we do to be, again, forward-looking of where are we headed to next. All right. With that, let me bring us back into the presentation. Is a crash setting up in the market? You know, I'm getting a lot of the calls and the comments right now of I'm protecting my money, I'm buying some puts, I'm pulling out of the position, I've lightened my load on it, I don't have a full lot any longer. I've gone to cash, put some to cash. Are we setting up for a crash? Folks, I still believe that we are a powder keg waiting to explode. It's just a matter of what scenario makes it happen. Is it our own government? Is it another country? Is it the election? Is it the Fed? You know, Russia, Israel? I have no idea what it's going to be as far as catalysts. But I do believe that we have a lot of things going on. Do I think we're going to see a market crash because of it? No. Do I think we could see a correction easily to that 10 or 20% based on what the Fed does? Yes, I do. I do. Do I have genuine concerns around election time this year? I do. I do. There's a lot of fear for me of not only who's going to win. That's a small part of it. It's more of if we've gotten to a point of opinions matter and facts don't, that I wonder if there's going to be more of the rioting in the streets, but we're talking about lasting for weeks and months again. And what's going to happen, folks? Just look at the tax decrease that Trump had put in place. It's ready to expire, right? If that doesn't get extended, it takes almost every American family and will raise their taxes just based on that alone, right? So there's all these other powder kegs out there that could become catalysts into something. I don't see any one thing on the horizon yet that says this is it. But do I see some things out there to be concerned with? Yes, I do. I certainly do. All right. So all of that to say, I like the move we've made in the market. I'm not afraid of the move we've made in the market, because here's the bottom line. Not one of you should be setting up a trade without putting some stops in place. Never. I think last week we did 5 different TikToks on stops or shorts, because we're putting them on TikTok, we're getting them on LinkedIn, we're getting them on Instagram, different versions of them and so forth. So, but I don't think that you should ever have a trade in place that you don't have a stop in place, right? I was in a meeting the other day with Trip and somebody else. We're getting an indicator set built out. We're on with the programmer, and my internet went out. My electricity and internet went out. And it was because the electric had died. And I called my neighbor, who said, yeah, we got a scheduled maintenance today. But I didn't get a letter in the mail. He did. Right. So I had absolutely no idea. What if I was in the middle of a trade? Right. No clue what was going on. And because I had this meeting coming up, I wasn't. But what if I was in the middle of a trade and had no stop in place? Right now, you scramble to call the broker. Hope you get them on the line. Do you remember your account number, your security questions, all those wonderful things? And the answer is I might or might not. Okay. Yeah, I get it, Stephanie. It's happened to me before with the electric. Yeah, me too. And I've done the battery backup and blah 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 blah. That would have been great, except the internet wouldn't have worked. So I would have had battery backup, but I wouldn't have had any internet. And no matter what, it would not have kept internet running because a blip in the power automatically shuts it. This would not have kept it where it didn't blip it and have to restart. So, and since my office is usually 5 or 6 degrees warmer than the rest of the house, right now it's set at 74 inside and it's 79 in my office. So yeah, 5 degrees right now, 5-degree difference. Those UPSs, uninterruptible power supplies, add an immense amount of heat to this office. So I choose not to use them. I think the probative value is much less than what the heat value costs me. So all you need to do is watch the S&P 500, watch the NASDAQ. What is it doing? What position is it moving in? What direction is it going? How is it setting up? And start talking to yourself about candlestick comparisons. Start talking to yourself about where the candle is today, where has it been, what's the overall pattern looking like, and is it a bullish bias? Is it a bearish bias? Is it a new, just talking all of that out so that we're in a bullish bias, rank of 3 right now. We've got a confluence of the 8 moving average with that 618, which is a great place for a pullback in there, as you saw on Friday. Great pullback and bounce off of that level. Just pure catalyst for us. All right. Okay. So we got a couple minutes today. Why don't you drop in the candidates that you want me to take a look at? I know it's been a while. We've been so long with our topics lately and questions. Scott said, one of the reasons I like a fully charged cell phone is I have my trading platform on my phone. Absolutely. I agree, Scott. My wire is right here. I am right now at 81%. So I've got a decent percentage right now. Overall, let's see. Stephanie said, I started looking at the analyze tool before entering a trade to see the loss and profit for my stop and target. Good. All right. So Scott's asking for Micron. Let me bring up the symbol grid with all symbols in it, not just pop symbols. So for those of you that are new here, and I know there's a lot of you that are joining us that are coming in off of you're finding us on social media. The goal of this segment here is for you to give me the symbol that you're looking at. I will analyze the candidate for you based on my technical analysis to help you understand what's happening and what's going on with it. So drop your symbols in and we'll do that. All right, so on Micron, so we have already violated the negative 618 on a close right in here. We had this pullback and this bounce. Yeah, I'm going to back this one up, Scott. I think we're going to redo this. My problem is 108, 128, 20 bucks. It's not as clean cut as I'd like it to be. Ideally, I would rather be doing it off of this level here. It's just not big enough. I really want to see, well, I've got at least $3 in there, right? 17. No, I've got $2, 2 and change, 2.5. So I really want to see at least $3 in there. So 115 to 118, that's about $3. Okay, almost $3 to the penny. So we're okay. So when I look at Micron, Scott, I like the breakout that we've had in there. Good move up, fell right back to the 236. That's usually a very good indication that we are in the right place with our lines. If you can get a pullback to the 236, which is hesitation level, and a bounce off of there, usually you've got a good set of lines drawn. All right. So do we need pivots in there? I don't know. Let's see. So Micron is about $8.50 of Fibit. So what's the difference in here? 5 to 31 is 6 in jingle. No, we don't need it there. 31 to 38 is 7. No, we don't need it there. Okay. So Scott, I like where it's at. Give me the pullback to the 131 in the bounce. 138 is resistance. 137, 136 half or so would be target. Stop is somewhere down below that 131. So I think it's a good candidate, Scott. I like the breakout that has been delayed now or hesitant for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Today's the 8th day, the fib day, and we get our breakout. All right. So that's one. I hope that helps, Scott. Let me know in the comments. Brenda's asking for the cues. All right, let's unscrunch that. Let me get rid of this orange bar. One more. Perfect. And let's pull it out. All right, so the fib that I've got drawn on there is fine. If we scrunch down a little bit, 449 to 464, 49, 59, is that 15 points? We've got a fibit in there of 10 and a half. On the Qs, this is 15, so I need to split that. So we got 36 to 49 is 13. Yep, we need a negative 136 and a 118. Okay. Beautiful. So, Brenda, I would love to see the pullback to the 456 and a half level and bounce, and we've got room up to 464. Talking $7 move on the Qs. $7, which is a lot of opportunity to the upside for us, right? With a $7 move. So I like it a lot, Brenda, a whole lot. If we look at SPY, which is the second one, Brenda's got in there. We look at SPY, very similar pattern. The difference here is I can't seem to get above that fibit, that negative 136. So that's what's got to happen next. Get me above the 531.49, retest and bounce, and 538.86 is resistance. So 537, 37 quarter, half would be my target. Okay. Good. Scott said, by the way, I entered my Micron spread on the pullback on 517 and closed it today. Good. Excellent, Scott. I love it. Absolutely love it. So there we have SPY, Brenda. Bounce off that 531.49, 538.86 is resistance. So about 537, 7.5, somewhere around there is your target. And then last one there is CRM, is Brenda. Okay. So first, I'll pull it out just so I can see it better. Let's, nope, key. So we got above the negative 618. Yeah, this has to be redrawn. So I'm going to pull this fib back here. We're going to redraw the fibs. Uh, 302 to 319. That's 17 points. 12. Oh yeah, we need a negative 136 and a 118. Okay. So CRM, Brendan, is not looking pretty, that's for sure. Right? You got 265.22 as support. And then if we do break here, we're going to need an 882 in there. So downside 265 and a quarter and 257 ish. Upside is 275 and a half and 283 and 3/4. The upside. Remember, you got a 100-point level in there. Perfect. Okay. So 265.22 on the downside. If we can pull back there on that 265 Brenner and bounce, 275.5 is resistance. So 274, 4.5, somewhere around that would be a good target, potentially. All right, Stephanie's asking for Amazon. Yeah, I agree, Stephanie, who said it seems to be stuck. Yes, I don't like the overall pattern. You take a Google, who is having great runs, all-time highs. It's like, Jeff Bezos, baby, come on. And I know he's not running it, but come on now, get back in the game. Put me in, coach. I'm ready to play. So on the downside, Stephanie, retest the 181.5, 176.5 is support. So right about 178-ish, 77.5, 78 would be our target. If you break the upside, I got a lot of muck going on there. There's just, it's very messy because of where the 8 and the 21 are. We get above it, we're in the middle. So I'd probably prefer to see us get above the 185.5. But bottom line on Amazon is this low. So caution grasshopper. Okay. Caution grasshopper. We've got to watch this pullback and see, are we going to wind up coming back down to that level? Right? I definitely like it better to the downside, but the upside gives us great opportunity if we get above that 185.5. You're welcome, Brenda. So Stephanie, I hope that helps. I still have my Amazon stock. Let's see. Kevin's asking for coin short, so he's looking at a bearish play. Always good to know that. So we're on the bullish side right now of the pattern. We are in a true bullish bias. We're on a true bullish bias right now. So I'd be careful from the short side. Today, we did finally break out of this fib channel that we've been in now, Kevin, for a while on Coinbase. We did finally get above it, on a good move above, not just a little close like we've had before. So if we stay where we are, could be the breakout. 234.5, we'll call it 34 to 71. Wow. 36. Yep, so we need a fib in there. So we're going to need a negative 136 and a 118. And the 118. Okay, beautiful. So if we can get a retest of the 234.56, wow, 234.56. If we get a retest and a bounce, 253.11 is resistance. If we fail, I'd wait, and I probably wouldn't trade anything on the downside. I'd let it be. So, Kevin, I hope that helps. And then Stephanie's got CBX in there. So, Stephanie, you got head and shoulder pattern you wrote in there. I'm guessing, are you looking at this right here, Stephanie, as the head? Yeah, okay. So maybe I like it better as a double top pattern than I do a head and shoulder. Because I'm not, and that's, so remember, when you look at a head and shoulder pattern, what are you looking at? You've got a couple different choices. You've got a shoulder, a head, and a shoulder, right, where they're equal. You have a shoulder, the head, and the shoulder where they're higher. You have the left shoulder, the head, and the shoulder where they're lower, right? So those are really the three different ways that I look at a head and shoulders pattern. When you've got a shoulder and then you have a head, that looks more like a two-headed monster to me. Right? Yes, it's not perfect. And listen, I'm with you. I get it. You are slightly up on that, and some might call it that. I would prefer to look at this as a double top pattern and starting to form some kind of channel even. And then that may be your play of how do I capitalize on that sideways channel. All right. I hope it helps. Good, Stephanie. You're quite welcome. Yeah, and M is money, right? So I'm all for it. Excellent. Excellent. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, with that, I believe we're done. Listen, go ahead and Lee, drop in that link if you would please for the replay for Trading You. And guys, we'll leave the room open for a couple of minutes. Go over to tradinglikeaboss.com. That will always be your easiest place to get your hands on everything that we do. As far as free trainings and such are all going to be on tradinglikeaboss.com. Okay. And there it is. The Pursuit of Trading Success. Go ahead and check that out. Fantastic. Everybody have a great rest of your day. God bless. I will see you all at our next update. Go ahead and grab those links that Lee's dropping in. We'll talk soon. Bye for now.